What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Comically Boston. Today is episode 62. It is May 15th, 2023. I'm Big Cam. Welcome back. For those of you watching, you guys probably like, he wears these gray shirts all the fucking time. I assure you I have different shirts. I just happen to be filming these mostly on Mondays, or I film these sitting at my desk, so I'm kind of in like pajama-y house clothes, and that just so happens to be my gray Boston shirts. But regardless, Boston Celtics, we win Game 7 last night. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to talk about the sports, and then we'll maybe talk about some TV shows and maybe some video games by the end of this episode, shall we? But let's jump right into it. The Celtics win Game 7, 112-88. We blow them out. We have a 24-point victory. At one point we were up by 30. We head back to the Eastern Conference for back-to-back years for the Jason Tatums and the Jaylen Browns of the world. This is their 5th Eastern Conference Finals in 7 seasons. And just to put that in perspective, these guys are still young as shit. They're probably my age, maybe a couple years older, 24, 25, maybe 26. Like, to be in the Eastern Conference Finals at such a young age and be doing well and playing well and putting on that show in front of that home crowd. You know, Tatum was feeling it all night. And he now has set and broke the record for most points in a Game 7 in NBA history, which is crazy to think about considering how young he is, and he's just going to keep getting better, I think. He just is so strong, and he really excels with this Boston home crowd, which, you know, I love, you know, because I'm a Boston home boy. But Jason Tatum in Game 7, he had 51 points, 13 rebounds. He is the 4th Celtic in NBA history to have a playoff 40-10 game, and he had 51 and 13. 17 for 28 from field goal. That boy had a night. He was absolutely feeling it. You could see his face. After every shot, he was just losing his mind, and the Garden was losing his mind along with him. Good thing, because Jaylen Brown called them out, and the Garden definitely rose to the occasion and decided to show out for him. But just a quick picture here from Mr. Joel Embiid. He had a poor night. He got dunked on by Robert Williams, which I love to see. And Mr. Al Horford didn't have a great night offensively, but defensively, he shut down the reigning MVP. Congrats to him. Al Horford had 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals in a shutdown D performance. JB had 25 points, 2 blocks, 2 steals as well. Embiid finished the game with 15 points, 8 rebounds. He shot 5 for 18 from the field. Harden finished with 9, shot just 3 for 11 from the field. Combined, they scored 24 points together. That's their big two, like their duo is combining for 24. I mean, JB had 25, so he had more than them combined. And then him and JT together had, 76 combined points for a duo. That duo is just doing its damn thing. But unfortunately for Mr. Joel Embiid, the 76ers get eliminated from the 2023 playoffs. The process is still ongoing, but I like to bring up, and Twitter has liked to bring up, that this is not a rivalry. So said Mr. Joel Embiid. They always kick our ass, and we're going to continue to kick your ass. Sorry, Philadelphia. Fuck y'all. Peace out. See you next year. So we move on to face the 8th seed that beat the Knicks to head on to the Eastern Conference Finals. And the Eastern Conference Finals shall be Mr. Jimmy Buckets versus Jason Tatum himself. The Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics. Eastern Conference Finals starts Wednesday night. So that should be exciting stuff. Jimmy Butler's been playing unbelievable all friggin' playoffs. So let's see if the Celtics can continue this momentum that they have over Philly and head into Miami. It will be at home because the Celtics have a better record, so we'll be home for games 1 and 2 versus Miami starting Wednesday. So I am so excited for that. Out west, the Lakers finish off the Warriors in Game 6, send them packing. LeBron wins his 41st series win. Not 41st playoff win. won series wins. So that's like, 7-game series. He's won a series 41 times, most of all time. LeBron James continues to break records that seem impossible to even obtain. But he's just an unbelievable career regardless. But he has to face up against former MVP and what a lot of people think should have been this year's MVP if it wasn't going to be Jayson Tatum in my mind. I thought it should have been Jokic over Embiid, but congrats to Embiid. But hey, Denver versus Los Angeles, Western Conference Finals. That should be some interesting stuff. I did think this was an interesting stat the other night when Clay and the Warriors was facing the Lakers. All-time leaders in NBA playoff three-pointers. Steph Curry has 614. He is 114 away from second place, which is Klay Thompson with 500. LeBron is probably going to pass Clay because he's probably going to get 9 three-pointers in his next series, and so he'll probably jump up into second. But third, you got LeBron with 451. Oh, not 9. He needs 59. So maybe he'll score 59 threes by the end of the next 2 series. Maybe. James Harden with 4th. Ray Allen 5th. Decent list of shooters there. Can't believe Ray Allen's only 5th, but hey, playoffs, like he's up top with Steph and Clay and them in the all-time three-pointers made for regular season. So that boy, when he was on the Celtics, he could freaking shoot. But moving on, the bubble. We're gonna get a bubble rematch because I don't know if you guys remember from 3 or 4 years ago, the bubble, which was awful with the crowd filtered noise, like they were just pumping in crowd noise to like this empty arena, and it was like this literal like gym, and it was just 2 NBA teams playing in like a gym, like it was like practice. And the Heat went all the way to the finals and lost to the Lakers in LeBron's first season, I believe, with them. So LeBron got his 4th ring, AD got a ring, and people were like, come on, Davis, if you're gonna win a championship, you can't do it in a bubble. So even they have kind of been like, people haven't counted the bubble championship. So, this is a rematch. Couple seasons later, we get the Celtics Heat in the Eastern and Denver Lakers in the Western. Bubble rematch for the Final Four. We'll see if it can end up being will it be the Heat Lakers or will it be the Celtics Lakers like I think it's going to be, and we can have one of those all-time rematches. You know what I'm saying? We can go back to the Bird Magic days or the Jerry West, Bill Russell days. You know what I mean? Like the Lakers-Celtics rivalry has gone on for a long time. And I believe right now we are tied 17-17 for the most banners hung by a franchise. And, one of those Lakers championships is in the bubble. Does it count? On the stat book it does, but in people's hearts does it count? Probably not. But I would like to see 17 going against 17 for the winner gets banner 18. Just to see that again would be dope. But hey, we got a tough Final Four ahead, so we'll see how the Joker does against LeBron, and we'll see how Jimmy Buckets does versus this Celtics team. Whew, been red hot all year, so that starts Wednesday. Can't wait for that. But let's jump into something else that we can talk about real quick. I finished Jedi Survivor, at least the main story I finished recently. And that game is probably one of the best games of the year that I've played so far. I went back and played some older games. I went back and played like The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2. That game is insane. That story is unbelievable. I can't wait for that show's Season 2 to come out. Season 1 was great. So, for me, I'm beyond hyped for video games and video game TV shows and stuff like that. I heard Amazon Prime's making a God of War show. I hope they cast Dave Bautista. Or, hey, even fucking the guy that plays Kratos in the game, let him, Christopher Judge is a big-ass boy. Like, let him be the live-action version. I wouldn't be mad, like, he fits the part. He already has the voice down. Boy. Like, just, the amount of times, like, you hear just a simple line, and you're like, okay, Kratos, let's go. Swing the axe, let's kill people, let's do it. Or that game was actually great, the second one, because he has a spear too. You can throw the spear, get some range attacks. But Jedi Survivor, Jedi Survivor is great this one around, because the first one there wasn't a lot of customization. So you were getting ponchos, or you were getting like the Mantis color scheme, and you were flying between a bunch of these different planets, and you had different stories on different planets type of thing. And this one seems like there's a different planets, but you go back and forth between a couple of the same planets. But those planets, when you're on them, they're pretty open world. Like, there's a lot to go and do and explore and see. So if you play like just the main storyline, you're missing like a lot of the extras and the exploring. So if you're gonna play the game and you just want to play for the story, hey, I feel you. I'm somewhat of the same. But I've also learned from playing games like Spider-Man for the PS5 and Miles Morales Spider-Man that sometimes if you play just the main story, the game goes by way too quick. So sometimes you just gotta make yourself do those side missions first, you know, just as like you get the next main objective, you can head that way, but you know, do all the side stuff that you're near first and then head that way. You know, get some exploring out of the way early. So I'm now, I started a new game plus for Jedi Survivor. So now I'm going to be going back through and I'm going to replay the story, but now at least I can have all my perks and abilities and stuff like that. So you don't have to re-unlock some stuff. You still have to unlock some little stuff like, you know, the blaster and grapple gun and stuff like that. But from the beginning, you can have all your perks and stuff so you can force push and do all the advanced stuff. But I do like this game starts and you can pretty much do everything that you could do in the last game, you can do right at the start of this game. And then this game you get different stances and then you get clothes. You know, you can customize his appearance to make him look however you want. So I keep seeing little TikToks and videos all over YouTube of people playing the game. And it's always fun and interesting to me that every time I've seen a video of Jedi Survivor being played, that the person playing has had their own unique outfit, lightsaber design, color scheme for the design, color scheme for BD1. You know, like, there's just so much customization. So now I feel with the second game, the story was amazing, the map design was great, the world building was great, the Star Wars magic of it was perfect, and it left you kind of like a cliffhanger on the end. I won't spoil it, but I believe there's going to be a Jedi third game. And in this third game, if they, you know, if the first game they started, they want to see how it went. The second game, they got the customization down pat. I don't think we need any bit more of that. Maybe just some different clothes for the third game, but same system. The lightsabers, stances work great. All the combat works great. So now in the third game, all you need to do is add maybe a couple different opponents that you come up against. And then the story you really have to worry about, and maybe a couple different planets. So you build new maps, new opponents, and then you continue this story. And I think the third game has its juicy stuff, but you don't have to go back through and get every lightsaber like motion capture. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of that stuff takes a long time. So I don't know, but this third game after the second one, whew, I'm really hyped up for that. I can't wait to see what comes from this. But for the time being, I'm going to keep playing me some Jedi Survivor. I can't stop thinking about Star Wars since playing this game. So just going to keep popping, baby. Just going to keep playing as Cal and see what other things I can discover from this game. But I definitely suggest you guys go play it yourself and comment below what you guys think. But let's talk about some TV shows real quick, and then I'll wrap this thing up. I started Elizabeth Olsen's new show with Jesse Plemons called Love and Death on HBO Max, and I really like it. I think it's like my mother. It's going to be a show for my mother for sure. She loves a murder mystery and that type of stuff. So, like, for me, I just got into it because I like Elizabeth Olsen, obviously, Scarlet Witch. Jesse Plemons is great as well. He's a great actor. So I started it, but like just the way that they shot it and like the story that they're trying to tell, it's like trippy but creepy, but also like, oh, okay, why is she doing this? And then all of a sudden it's like, ooh, they cut to like the future, and they cut back to like 2 years earlier, so it's like, ooh, what is going on? So you got to kind of figure out how this true story ends. But Elizabeth Olsen, man, she does such subtle acting choices she does with like her face or like her expressions, like a little grin here or like a little blink or like a just don't blink, you know, like she's a very, very good actress, and she's killing it in that show. So The Mothers of the World, go check that out. Or if you're like me and you just like a good story, go check it out. Other than that, on HBO Max as well, I've been watching Succession. They're into their 4th season, probably almost done by now. But I am halfway through season 2 of Succession, and that show has been gripping its little claws into me. And like, some people I've heard would be like, oh, I can't relate to it. Like, my family doesn't have money, so what do I care? And I'm like, just because you can't relate to something, like, personally, doesn't mean it's not a good show or, like, a good thing to watch. Like, so what? I don't have a Succession. I can understand a family that is so big and powerful that they have a power dynamic for their money. You know, like, everybody in the world has dealt with somebody having money and somebody else that doesn't have it wanting that money. You know, that seems like a very first world, you know, like a very basic problem that most people probably have every day, and they've experienced one way or another. But the cast, the writing, the whole show is so good. And some of the line delivery is so funny. And some of the lines that they just say, you're like, I don't know if they're trying to be just so serious that it is funny, or that they're just such assholes that it's funny. You know what I mean? Like, they're just all super mean and super dickheads to each other, but they're more like sarcastic dickheads. They're not like mean dickheads. They're not just trying to be mean for like no reason, maybe other than like Logan. Logan's just being mean because he's an old man and he can, you know, he's like, what the fuck am I gonna be nice for? I'm an old man. Fuck you. Fuck off. You know, like, they're constantly telling each other to fuck off and go eat a dick or something, you know, like, they're just very mean people, but it's so funny. I still love Cousin Greg. Tom's by far my favorite character between Tom and Craig. Just their whole dynamic is hilarious. Roman's hilarious. There's just a lot of funny shit that goes on in their shit in this show. So I say go check it out. And I'm going to say it on here just for myself, basically. But I started the Watchmen series on HBO Max. And that's like 10 episodes, 1 season. And I think I'm like 5 or so episodes into that. So I got to finish that. Comment below. Make me finish that. If you've seen it, tell me what you thought of it in the comment section below. Or you can @ me on Twitter, @BigCamYouTube, or send me a DM on Instagram, @ComicallyBoston. I'll leave my links in the description below. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Smash that bell so you don't miss future videos. I'm Big Cam. I'll see you guys in the next one. Be safe, be well. And if you got any questions for me, hit me down below in the comment section. And I'll see you next week or later this week, and we'll talk more about the Eastern Conference Finals and see how the Celtics are doing, shall we? Woo, super excited for that. Go Boston. Shout out to the Celtics. Jason Tatum, you the man. Love you. Peace out, y'all.